Alright folks, another ad hoc video for you. I was just listening to a podcast from the Investors Chronicle, and one section of it was based on this article that I just found when I got home, and it talks about they basically just crunch some numbers, and they're saying, look, if you invest on the first day of the tax year, you make this amount more compared to investing on the last day. And then they do a comparison where you just invest every month instead, and unsurprisingly, they come up with these results that obviously, if something's got 12 months longer in the market, obviously it's going to grow more, which is what this chart shows, the pink line and the dark blue line. And then obviously the monthly one has the same effect, but a lot less, because half the half of the money's invested in the first half of the year, second half later. So obviously it's a lot closer, and it's a lot smoother as well because of pound cost averaging. But to me, it just I've seen a few. Well, I haven't seen them. I've heard a few people on podcasts talk about this exact same thing in recent times because it's the beginning of the tax year. But the whole premise of it to me makes no sense, because if you think about it, the suggestion is invest your full 20 grand on day one. But to me that makes no sense, because if you've got 20 grand on the 6th of April or the 7th this year, all that tells me is that for the 12 months previous, presumably that 20 grand has built up over the previous 12 months. So to me that just shows that you've had the money out of the market for, well, I don't know, maybe a twelfth of it was out of the market for 12 months. Maybe another 12th was out of the market for 11 months. Another 12th was out of the market for 10 months. So, each moment your cash flow generates some money, you've kept the money out of the market. So to me, they've gone against the whole premise of this calculation, is going against what their point is. Their point is get the money invested as soon as possible. But the calculation they've done here is suggesting to people keep the money out of the market. So it makes no sense. Just in case I haven't made my point clear, what they're suggesting is, say this is the current year, they're suggesting you put in 20 grand in the ISA there, and then the other one they do, and the comparison they make is to put in 20 grand in there instead. So all to me, what you have to do is, in the previous year, that 20 grand that was available there shouldn't be available, because it should be invested. Now, either you have the previous year's ISA allowance, but if you've used all of that, put the excess in here and put it in gradually. What's 20,000 divided by 12? So instead of doing it all in the beginning, do it like that. That's going to add 1 to it, isn't it? No, it didn't. So put it in the GIA like that. Presumably you've only got the 20 grand because your previous ISA allowance wasn't available. And then in the next year, just carry on putting that amount in. So instead of putting 20 grand in there, sorry, that was wrong actually. No, in the next year, you can then use the New Year's allowance. That is the most logical way of getting the money in as early as possible. And then obviously, depending on how much you earn and how much you can save or invest each month, you'll probably be putting extra in the GIA anyway if you're really wealthy and earn a lot of money. But this is just the ISA allowance. This is just the 20 grand we're talking about. And then obviously, if there's excess, obviously it'll go in different places. But so I mean, in reality, so anyway, there's just my little annoyance. I just don't understand why they're not thinking, why doesn't this work? I don't understand why they're thinking like this. It makes no sense. All right, there's my little rant about something that irks me. I've got it on. I figure if I put it out on YouTube, it'll stop irking me because I've got it off my chest. So thank you for letting me get it off my chest.